Hello my friends, welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures once again. And this is July 22nd on our journey out of Alaska through Canada and wherever we end up. So we started out the morning in Whitehorse. We stayed in a hotel last night after getting off the Dempster Highway. Got our bikes cleaned up, rested, cleaned ourselves up, did some laundry, and just took restock of the entire situation and decided to come in fresh here. So one of the things that we dealt with on the Dempster Highway was my buddy's front. And as I spoke about, he did not have a tube with him against my demands. I think he just forgot. He meant to bring it, but anyway, I picked on him unmercifully for quite a while, but anyway, we got my 19-inch tube in this 21-inch tire. So one of the reasons that we got into Whitehorse was to try to get to a motorcycle shop. We didn't even really know what day of the week it was. It was Saturday. Everything closed early on Saturday. They don't open on Sunday. And we didn't feel like, well, I mean, I'm sure we would have not minded relaxing and enjoying the Chinese restaurant and the bar and the shower and the bed, but that's not too much of an adventure. So I threw out a request on advrider.com. There's a regional forum on there. It's a motorcycle forum for anyone who doesn't know about it, about adventure riding. And there's a regional forum, Canada. So I went on the Canada forum and I said, anyone in Whitehorse who has a 21-inch tube, please contact me. And you know, we were only going to be there for a day, and by the time I set that out, it was probably 5 p.m. So and my checkout time was 10. I was like, well, you know, what the hell, might as well give it a shot. And lo and behold, this morning when I woke up, I had a message from a guy. And he said, yeah, I think I have one. I'm at work, but I'm gonna have my son check. And I said, oh, thank you very much. And I told him where we were at. And I said, we'll meet you anywhere. Let me know what you want for it. And that was probably first thing in the morning when I woke up at 6 a.m. So we got up, got cleaned up, and I was waiting to hear back from this guy. And he said, oh yeah, probably about 8:45, 9 o'clock. He said, yeah, my son says I have one. Where do you guys want to meet? And as I said, we'll meet you anywhere. And he said, I tell you what, I'll send my son over with it to meet you guys at the hotel. And his son rolls up about 10 a.m. and Ken gives him some money for the tube and thanks him profusely, and he's off. So there you have it. We got the world of motorcyclists helping each other out. And it just worked out really good, considering that the next motorcycle shop was about 1,000 miles away, the next one that we could find. In fact, yeah, I don't think there would have been any so far. But anyway, today we did about 500 miles from Whitehorse, and we went outside of Whitehorse on the Alaska Highway, and then we dropped down on Highway 37, which is the Cassiar Highway. And we saw a couple bears today. That was kind of cool. We saw 2 cubs and a mama bear. And we saw another bear on the side of the road. We went through a pretty cool place called Jade City, where they had these giant slabs of jade and all kinds of cool jade trinkets. And the Cassiar Highway is pretty awesome. I don't know if it's the nicest road that we've been on, but it's really nice. Small 2-lane road up and down the hills, nice sweeping corners. I tell you what, I'll take you to my awesome interactive map display here. I got it all set up for you here with the fuel bottle, the can opener, and the stove holding it down. All right, where are we at? Whitehorse, right here. So we headed out this direction. And this is all stuff that we hit on the way in. But it didn't really look familiar. It's funny how going the opposite direction, it doesn't look that familiar. I mean, we've only driven it once, but the town name sounded familiar. And then we turned south on 37 here. We stopped here in this, let's see if it'll focus. We swung over here to check out Boya Lake on a recommendation from someone. They said, oh, it's only like 2 or 3 kilometers off the road. You should check it out. It's amazing. Well, yeah, it was amazing. But Ken and I were looking at each other like, well, every lake we've seen here is amazing. And it's kind of funny to say that, but it's true. Every lake that we see here is amazing. So while it was impressive, we were not overly impressed because everything is so dang nice here. And we continued on down the 37. And we are currently, where's it at here? Just outside of this little place here, Tatogga. Now, once we come over this Nat Pass area, I'm guessing, was pretty interesting because it was all small, like conifer type trees. And then as soon as we went up over the top of that, we seen these mountains here. And they got some snow peaks on them. Looks pretty nice. But we went outside of the small town of Tatogga, which didn't look like a whole heck of a lot. In fact, Ken had his mapping going on his phone, and he said, it says we're here, and there's nothing. And we went about another mile or two, and there was like a small hotel and a place that had a gas station, which some of these places that have gas stations, it's just like a great big fuel barrel looking thing and 1970s looking pumps. Kind of interesting, some of these small towns, but you know, people need gas. And then the sign outside of town said next fuel 141 kilometers, which is about 100 miles. And we both are good on range, so we're probably just gonna push to the next town, which who knows, it might be the same sort of thing. But we got outside of the sprawling suburb of Tatogga and kept looking for a place to pull off. There was some really nice places before we got into town on this lake, but we were, you know, we had our mind set on getting to the sprawling suburb of Tatogga, as I've already said, and we got through that anyway, and just kept looking for a place to pull over. There was lots of places on the left side of the road with power lines, and that didn't look too exciting, and found this place on the right hand side of the road as we were headed south, so I guess the west side, and we pulled off a couple 100 yards off the highway. There was a fire ring here, a nice little area, and we're just far enough where you can kind of hear the cars. There's a river. I walked down to it. It's about 200 yards down this way. I don't know how big it is. I think we went over it on the highway. It didn't look too large. There's so many rivers here. Unbelievable. Ken's got the fire going. We're going to dine well tonight here. I'll bring you over here to my camp pile here. I just threw everything off the bike. So what do we got here on the menu? We got chunky baked potato with bacon, and it's in French for those of you who parlez-vous. And then we also have some wash it down with some whiskey a la cannelle. Fireball. Well, it'll work in a pinch. But that's the life, man. That's how we're living. Fire is roaring already. We'll get the camp chairs out here, start cooking up our soup. I think Ken got another delicious flavor, but we're living okay. The bike's working very well. Nice to have it a little bit cleaned up. It's not perfect, but we're good to go. We did about 494 miles today. Prince George is the next town that has any sort of a motorsports dealer, and they're about 500 miles from here. It's about 1,000 miles from Whitehorse. So we're planning on trying to get into or just outside of Prince George tomorrow. Let's find a place to hole up for the night, then hit up the dealer there, get another tube, because I told Ken I didn't want to change that tube out of there just yet in case we mess it up. and then we'll have a spare, and he should have a spare anyway, even if we get that tube changed. So the guy's agreeing with me. He's shaking his head over here. Yeah, well.
Lots of north-south, north-south.
That's good.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree wholeheartedly.
How's your Dempster Highway injuries treating you?
Well, yesterday we popped my knuckle back into place after one can of liquid courage or bottle
I
of
was on my second beer, and then I finally manned up. I didn't really want to pull on his hand.
Pull my finger.
I didn't want to pull his finger. He's from Wisconsin. He might be farting on me. But I had a beer, and then I said, all right, I'll do it now. So we got his finger back in, and getting there, a little bit better. A little bit better, so we'll see how that goes. But Ken is soldiering on like the badass that he is. Can't complain too much. He won't listen anyway, but it's good to have someone along with me anyway. And I'm sure he has the same view. It's nice to be here with somebody. At least you feel a little bit safer out here in the woods.
Somebody who knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, well, between the two of us, we probably got about 100 IQ combined, so we're solid. But I think it's about time to bust out the tools of our trade, the tents and sleeping bags and camp chairs and camp stoves, and get some food in our bellies and try to get a little bit of sleep here tonight. Wake up early, make some coffee, and hit the road, and put another 500 miles under the belt tomorrow, hopefully. So there you have it. I don't remember what day it is, day 6, I believe. Anyway, I said it was July 22nd, so we'll figure that out as we go. Thank you very much for watching. Throw some comments below if you would. I'd appreciate it. And get out there and find your adventure. Adios, my friends.